Imagine one day you're reading the final chapter in your favorite story on your way home from work, school, or a friend's place, and suddenly just after you finish, the world from your story comes to life. All the characters and plot points from your favorite series have become reality, and you know how it all ends. This is Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, an apocalyptic fantasy fiction novel, written by a Korean author duo writing under the pen name Sing Shong. This is a book about being in a book and has 551 chapters. This is one of the best-selling novels of all time in Korea as well as abroad. The novel starts with the appearance of Kim Dokja, your semi-typical office worker in his mid-20s, hanging on by a thread with the help of the weekly release of his favorite web novel, 3 Ways to Survive in a Ruined World is a grand serial consisting of only 3,149 episodes, and Kim Dokja has been the only reader since the 100th episode. Kim Dokja is absolutely dreading the upload of the epilogue, signaling the end of the story that's gotten him through all his hard times, from being bullied in his adolescence to an unsatisfying life as an adult. As it turns out, he doesn't have to worry about that too much. On the train ride home, after he reads the final epilogue, Kim Dokja closes the tab only to find the events of his favorite web novel coming to life when a Dakibi appears and announces a scenario where you have to kill a life form to survive. In the blink of an eye, Kim Dokja realizes that they are in the novel that he was just reading, and the characters he has been following for years are no longer fictional, but actual, tangible beings who may either aid or destroy his chances of survival. Having the script gives Kim Dokja a leg up, and he strategically uses his knowledge in fleeting moments to gain the right acquaintances and to survive what would have otherwise been untimely but predictable deaths. Dokja is the only person who knows the end of the world because he was the only reader who read to the end. Being the only reader who has seen its end, Dokja wants to change the ending because of what it was like. However, Kim Dokja may be the protagonist of our story, but the protagonist of his story is a regressor named Yoo Jung-hik, a hero who has relived the apocalypse many times in an attempt to get to the end of the scenarios. The scenarios are simulations that are created to challenge humans. Kim Dokja's appearance changes his story and his plot. The future Jung-hik now becomes influenced by Kim Dokja's presence. Kim Dokja also wants to live to see the end of the scenario, but he wants to see his new friends make it with him. The tides are ever changing, and Kim Dokja uses his knowledge of the plot in order to ride them. He almost always knows exactly what to say to carry favor when needed, but Jung-hik seems to be more complicated than he lets on. And let's not forget about the constellations and gods watching the humans on Earth tear into each other for fun scenarios. Dokja monologues about this throughout the novel, saying that a world without sacrifice doesn't exist, among other statements. Dokja acquires a PDF version of the novel during the first scenario as well as the skill Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, which comes free with the fourth wall who protects him. I really like how the story does well to explore its main themes, one of them being, everything is your own perspective/viewpoint. The story has more themes, but this one stuck out to me the most because it's not the first you would think of. Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint is told from the viewpoint of Kim Dokja. We only see Dokja's perspective on people, but as he learns more and gets a broader perspective, we can see more of the characters. Characterization is one of the best aspects of this novel. We learn so much about Kim Dokja in the first chapter already. For starters, he's just like us. We are rooting for him, and he's rooting for Yoo Jung-hik. Kim Dokja is aware of his faults and his limitations, specifically how nothing about his life or his personality screams main protagonist. From his name, Dokja translates to reader in English, to his job, again, a 9 to 5, to his hobbies, reading web novels on his commute. Kim Dokja is normal. He doesn't change overnight, but he also doesn't let his newfound advantage go to waste. Forced to make decisions on the spot, for himself and for his new friends, he becomes unpredictable and a little bold. There's also a part of Dokja that just really wants to be friends with his favorite character. It's a little ironic just how normal, smart and sneaky Kim Dokja is. He really is just like the rest of us. Finally, the world building is the best part of this novel. I can't put all my reasons why due to the maximum count of words, but just think of this one reason. The story we are reading takes place in Korea, and despite the apocalyptic setting, everything is very familiar. It's not exactly a fantasy world, but the fantastical elements and implications of another universe, or even a multiverse, being overlaid on what we know does open many doors. Overall, the story is very complex and explores its themes pretty well and has realistic characters. I would recommend this novel to anybody who likes complex stories, time loops, the action fantasy genre, history, mythology, and anybody who likes reading to escape reality.